The amateur game has always been a big part in our lives. It's always the topic of our conversations and it's constantly on our minds on a daily basis.
Although it's not at a professional level, the amateur game is a working class sport at a working class level. Players put their bodies on the line, lives on hold, and have worked their socks off to be the best they can be from the top to the bottom of the amateur game.
We live and breathe football, and the amateur game has given us our best years in football. Both of us have come to the end of our playing days and want to sit and speak to the legends of the game, legends in their world, to sit and listen about the careers and stories of the game we love.
Welcome to our podcast.
3 points, please. So today we have probably the most talked about man in the amateur game, probably the most feared centre forward in the game at the moment, a serial winner, Jordan Buckley.
Welcome, Jordan.
Welcome, bud.
Thanks for having me, lads.
So, Jordan, what are you at now?
Still playing now at the moment with Usher Celtic. I'm there a long time now, eight seasons now this will be, and yeah, I'm still there.
Still going.
So you had a little big match there a couple of weeks ago, was it? A little big match, sorry. You had against Pats.
Yeah, so we played last week in the Leinster Senior Cup. One, obviously we got to the final last year, which obviously the final didn't go too good for us against Bows, but we got a good cup run in it. Obviously now this year was a kind of new format. This is the first year where they've obviously done it in a group format. So obviously we got drawn against Pats out of League of Ireland, UCD out of League of Ireland, and then obviously mocked us. So obviously Pats was one of our first games last week. In the Gorman as well. We had the chance.
Some crowd down there, I seen, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest crowd that we've probably played in front of in the Gorman, anyways. But yeah, we got a chance of playing them in the Gorman rather than moving it to Richmond.
Yeah,
we had the option of moving it to Richmond, but we wanted to give ourselves the best chance of obviously getting a result there. So.
And how did you find the standard? Was
it? The standard, to be honest with you, obviously the standard in terms of the ball moves quicker and stuff like that. The players are a lot fitter, but. I felt comfortable anyways in the game. I think a couple of lads felt comfortable in the game as well. But obviously it is a different intensity than when you're playing against some teams, obviously out of Leinster Senior League.
Yeah, the fitness sharpness is different. They're probably full time.
They're obviously full time. Probably one of the best teams in the country. They did a couple of young lads in the team as well, but did a lot of
the first one that was playing.
That was playing. Did a 5 or 6
a bit close to him. He's from in and around that way, isn't he?
I now get really well, I'd be friends with Git, but obviously Git's Git, he's best. To me, I think he's probably the best player in the country, so obviously the award they won probably says that as well, so
definitely, yeah.
But even to get to play against Git, I played with Git when I was with Smithfield, believe it or not, two of us. We were only kids, he was a year old, he probably shouldn't even be playing.
Yeah.
And he's playing as a banger for us, playing in the middle and what he was doing, it's ridiculous. You always knew he was going to go on and do bleeding amazing things for himself.
He went to England, didn't he?
Yeah.
Who did he sign for?
He was Peterborough, wasn't he?
Peterborough, that's right. Yeah, he done all right as well, didn't he? He had a couple of good seasons.
Was he? Wasn't it?
I thought he was only away for the season. He must have been away for a long time.
A couple of years, I think, was it? Yeah.
Against Chelsea and all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in the FA Cup. Yeah. How are you finding with the group stages, Jordan? Obviously, it's a new thing in now, and does anything change with yourself and the team and Wezzo? Does training get upped? Does the preparation get a little bit more?
To be honest, I don't think personally for us, I don't think training can be upped anymore. In terms of us training, Wezzo's training has been top notch. Obviously when you're coming up against the likes of Pats and stuff like that, you have to work on different styles of play and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not gonna, we tend to have a lot of the ball when we're playing against teams in the Leinster Senior League. That's what we try and do, anyways. But obviously, when you're coming up against Pats, you're not going to have
be limited.
You have to set up in a bit of shape and stuff like that, and where you're going to be when you don't have the ball. So, obviously, that's the only thing that you probably work on. But in terms of intensity and training and fitness and training and stuff like that, it stays the same because we train a lot. We train hard as well. So, but yeah, even over the weekends or whatever, if we no game, we wouldn't have the weekend off. If a match got called out on Friday, we'd be training on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Just we don't take
very good.
Weekends off, which is good. Probably not for some lads where you probably don't want to, but
the homework's there for you as well.
Look, it's obviously standing for you, isn't it? For working for you, because what
don't seem to drop off, so it's kind of helps us, but obviously, as you said, the question that you were asking, yeah, of course, the way you play and without the ball, so you're gonna not have the ball against the likes of Pats as much as you'd like to have it. So you have to work on a bit of shape and stuff like that, you know.
So against Pats, would you go with the mentalities? Listen, I want to get a goal here, or would you think just get the win? Were you during the game? You like to say, "Oh, if we get a chance here, I'm going to keep it for myself," or would you have passed it?
Mate, look, if I'm in a position,
You're thinking
if I think someone's in a better position than me to score 100% to pass it, that's the way I've always been.
I call bullshit.
That's the way
in fairness, I've seen you play on a few occasions. You've never felt
if you ask most strikers that probably played me, like Gary, Jimmy, even Stephen Donnelly, that was with me for 4 or 5 years, he'd tell you outright, like that's. If I'd square the ball,
but centre forward, it's very rare to get that, because I think they get in front of goal, they're going for goal, aren't they?
Yeah, majority of strikers. Yeah, majority of strikers are like that. Yeah. But you're kind of a bit of an all rounder. You're not like an out and out centre forward.
When it first kind of came to obviously when Wezzo took over, when Wezzo started Usher back up, like when I first came down, I was kind of playing in the 10 anyways. You know, Steele was playing ahead of me or whatever. Like I was kind of dropping into the 10 and stuff like that, and kind of getting on the ball and as like a playmaker is what they call it, like, you know. But obviously now I've been kind of playing up front as the number 9, like, you know. I don't know, Wezzo seems to like to put me up there for kind of a bit of pace and in behind and stuff like that. So that's obviously where he wants to kind of use me, which look, I'm not going to complain with that. We've players that can play in behind me now in that position that's kind of feeding us the ball. So look, that's just where I am now. That's where he wants to play, and look, I'd play anywhere, to be honest with you.
Were you always quick?
Yeah, I was always fast, like, you know. Like, it's definitely, like, I am fast, like, but the lads just seem to think that I'm a lot faster.
We played you up here in pre-season, and I've seen you playing. I remember you coming over training. It was at Crumlin. Once or twice or something, I think you trained. Wezzo probably doesn't know about that. He does.
I'm gonna get you the show now. Wezzo does now. He points out everything, fuck's sake. But no, I went over training twice. I think. I think Mark was there. I was talking to Mark and Mark Kenny and that. At the time he was there. Like, I went over. I was actually talking to Mark at training, and obviously Jake Donnelly and was Jake. Yeah,
Jake was there
for him as well, like, you know. So I went up, but it was just one of those things. To be honest with you, like, I always enjoyed it. I always found it hard to leave, kind of, you know.
Yeah, of course.
After going up there, I just thought, right, go up and do the session, see how Mark was obviously having to be on to me as well and stuff like that. And believe it or not, I was working for a crowd called Devon Construction, like, you know, and Danny Loughlin and Martin, they used to do the plumbing for Tommy, like, so they were in, and Danny and that was talking to me and asked me would I not come down and train. So that's kind of how that kind of helped came about. And so I went and just trained. I think I done one session, and I kind of knew walking away that I didn't want to leave. You know, that way I didn't want to leave Usher, regardless of Crumlin probably being twice the team that Usher was and whatever. I just enjoyed it where it was. My mates were there, and that's why I kind of stayed there.
I think we could sense that off you when you came up even training. You could tell that you just, you know what I mean.
There as well at the time, you know, and obviously I was there and stuff like that, you know. But it's just one of them. I was with Usher and I just enjoyed it. It was hard to get me out there, and still now, like, even now, like, I'm just. I don't think I'd be
of course, it's your club, and that's it, isn't it?
Like, that's where I started off, and that's where I'm probably gonna finish now.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, I remember you coming up all the way, and then I remember playing against you up here. English United in pre-season.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I was at the senior player like numerous times, and I see you got the ball. I told you this, Nelson, didn't I? And you got the ball, and we were kind of playing as a bit of a high line, but the ball, you just knocked the ball in front of everyone. And I actually couldn't believe, like, I've seen fast people like all over your career, no left wingers getting at you or whatever, again playing against people, midfielders running on you. But you hit that ball, and I swear to God, it was like there was a fucking hot rod stuck up your arm, and the pace just took you away from the whole back line, like, and you end up going 1-on-1. I think it might have saved, but I kind of went, that's the first time I looked at somebody and went, that pace is frightening.
Yeah,
like, it really was.
That's what I think that's one of the reasons now why Wezzo obviously tries to leave me, especially like in the Gorman. You'll probably see me dropping in and getting on the ball anyways, because the pitch isn't that long anyways for like balls that's coming over. But like on a big pitch, like, we kind of tend to use it where I'd probably stay high or stay out left or whatever, you know, that way, like, just
trying to pull players out of the place,
like that, you know. But that's just the way we kind of been working on stuff the last while. But in terms of being fast, like, I probably turn around and say, no, I just think I'm just as quick as anyone. I don't find myself as being like a rocket and stuff like that, but some people do say that you are quick. Like.
You're doing alright this year, then, just at the top of the league.
Yeah, well, look at this year. Look, we're unbeaten in the league. We're in 2 quarterfinals. We're in the quarterfinal of Metro and the quarterfinal of the Charlie Cattle.
And you won the league every year.
We won. So obviously we are in the AUL that time. Obviously the year we won Premier A, and then the year later we tried to retain it against Sheriff, obviously, and that didn't work out. But that was the year that there was kind of a breakaway. There was a lot of clubs leaving the AUL at that time and moving over to the Leinster Senior League. So it was kind of a conversation that came about between obviously the manager and stuff like that. He was like, will we jump or will we go? Because if we don't, it's only like Sheriff were obviously jumping. Oliver Bond were the league below. They were jumping out of that league. I think there was another 1 or 2 teams jumping out of that league as well.
It's a case of don't miss
and
the boat.
I think there was, if I'm not mistaken, Kilmore was another team. So I think there's about 6 or 7 teams that was looking to jump over to the Leinster Senior League. So it was like, are we going to stay here? Who are we going to be playing against? Do you know that way? It was like, you want to be playing at the highest level.
But you lose players then.
Yeah,
you lose players then.
That's the thing. Like, so obviously Wes put it to us. He was like, look, at the opportunity is there. Do you want to do it or do you not want to do it? But this is the kind of plan that we need to put in place. If we do it, it's a 5-year plan. We need, like, we're going to be putting whatever it was, the lowest intermediate league. I think we went into the top junior league when we moved over into the Leinster Junior League,
happens,
and then the 4 above that. So he was like, it's going to take 5 years. Like, I don't want to jump. And then you decide, oh look, I'm out here, like, I'm going up to playing the top league, like, you know. At the same sense, I'm going to leave it in your hands, and that's what he's always kind of done
it's the risk you have to take, isn't it?
That's what he's always kind of done, in fairness to him, like, in any decisions. He's always left it to the players. So we kind of got together and we were like, look, it's a plan to work off. So obviously that's what we done, and we knew it's 5 years with promotion every year, but we're not winning 4 leagues on the bounce on the way. So
looking for the 5th now this year.
This would be, so the junior and the top, we won 2 intermediates, I think. This would be if we win it, this would be a 3rd intermediate, and then we're into the top intermediate then.
Brilliant.
Very good, yeah.
Look at, we're 1 away from the top now. We just, like, the goal this year is promotion, like, you know, just to get us into the top league. That's
there's not concentrate. That's because you concentrate in the league there, then you're too focused on that.
Yeah, well,
you're not looking at anything else, and it's going to be sidetracked.
It's a 5-year plan, promotion every year. We're not winning leagues on the way. That's a bonus on the way.
Yeah,
this year now, obviously, it's the same. Get promoted and we're in the top league, and then that's your 5-year plan after coming into place.
Yeah, very good. He's done an unbelievable job there, Wezzo. Yeah,
so that's kind of what
and the players, obviously. Yeah.
But yeah, we had a good start, and look, hopefully it continues now for the next couple of months, and we'll see where we're at the end of the season. Like,
sounds. We'll take you back then to your 20-year plan or 30-year plan that you had when you were a kid.
30, it's a long time ago. 40 now, so what? Started off, I don't even think I was with any academies or anything like that, you know. I think the first kind of real football memory was obviously I started off with Usher as well. Like, so,
where did you grow up, Jordan?
I was born and raised in Oliver Bond. Like, I'm living on the north side now, obviously with her and the baby. Just an important place there. So, but yeah, Oliver Bond is where I grew up, and obviously I was there till only 3 years now. Like, I'm only out there 3 years, like, you know.
So yeah. Usher, was it? What age were you?
Sevens was, yeah. And funny,
did Usher have a schoolboy?
Yeah, schoolboys. Yeah, I would have went in there. Yeah, schoolboys with Usher. Yeah. Funny enough, Wezzo, obviously, who's the manager now, his wife was the manager of the schoolboy. Well,
that's
she was helping
bad,
out with the schoolboy.
Very good.
Gail. And then another girl, Lavinia, Lavinia O'Keefe, she was obviously there as well, and Aunt O'Keefe was kind of giving the dig out in around that stage for his sister as well, like, you know. But yeah, that was kind of my first kind of real memory of when I was playing as a kid. Like, it was obviously Usher under 7s up in Ireland Bridge, playing, obviously going sideways on the pitch, you know, obviously the small goals and stuff like that. But remember, obviously, up there at the back of the pitches, there was a green container, like, there was no changing rooms, or there was nothing, like, so there was literally somewhere
just to keep the nets and whatever else.
The goals. They used to have a little wooden bench. You'd be getting stripped in there, like, you know, and
freezing cold.
Yeah,
I remember we had them when we were
down Kildone,
freezing.
Yeah, in the middle of the winter up there, like, getting changed at the side of a little container and stuff like that. That was obviously my real football memory, like, as in forced football memory, you know.
Well, you probably played in the flats though as well, did you? Or you would
in
down
the flats,
on the bond,
yeah. But like, obviously would have played, like, the bond would have having a little, like, obviously the bond is huge, like, you know, there's a little football pitch there, like a concrete football pitch. There wouldn't have been a schoolboy that played
old school concrete,
There was no schoolboy at the time when I was there, like, you know, as in, like, under 7s, under 8s.
Did Oliver Bond just set up a senior team a few years back, and that's them?
They set up a senior team before they set up a schoolboy. That's how, in fairness to Eddie, like, Eddie set up, Eddie Keogh, he set up the senior team, and they set up 2 senior teams, a Saturday and a Sunday side, and then obviously then they start with, I think, under 15s are going now at the minute.
They've won the league, or won the 2 leagues, have they, between them?
Yeah, they've won a couple of leagues between the schoolboys at the minute, like,
Very good.
And the same, obviously, with the senior team that Eddie set up, like, they had a massive climb as well, like, the massive rise.
They were quite similar to yours.
They similar, something similar
There's
as well.
sustainability, though, I don't know what it was, you just kind of...
Do you know what I think it is? I think we spoke about this with James Lee. James, he called it a little bit. He says, loads of, in areas, loads of people start going, we'll set up a club here, set up a club there.
And that's one thing that I was listening to, obviously, James, and he's right about, obviously, too many teams are setting up in the one area. So, like, whereas if it, like, say, like, there's 4 or 5 teams in the one area, and then you kind of squeeze the players from here and there. Like, if you had got to, say, the 2 teams, it'd probably balance itself out a little bit better, like, but obviously there's different groups of mates, like, and that's something with myself, like, I just wanted to play football with my mates, like, with all my mates. As long as all my mates are on the same team, I didn't care who I was playing for.
And you're like that all the way through your whole football career.
I've never went and played with, like, obviously the likes of Kevin's or the likes of Home Farm, or someone with a good academy, a good structure there. I just played with teams that all my mates were there with. And that's just the way I've been. Like,
and that's brilliant, like, through the adult stage. It's great, isn't it? Something else to have that,
And even now, like, obviously they were Usher, like, as I said, 8 years, but all my mates are there. They weren't my mates when I first signed, but the mates now, and they're that long, like, and they're all still, most of them, like, there's, apart from probably about, in our squad now, about 4 or 5 players.
They become a sort of family, though, isn't it?
Since the start, They
become sort of family to you as well, though. Like, you probably live in each other's pockets more than time, because you said you're probably training 3 or 4 times a week. You're playing on matches there, so you're probably with them more than you're kind of with.
You spend, like, a lot
of your family, like, how's your family?
3 nights a week, like, an hour and a half each night on training, and then you're going to that match. And then
you're probably going for the beer afterwards, then,
in the City Arms, like, Usher, like, we go back, the City Arms kind of sponsor us, like, and we go back there, they give you pizzas and curries and a couple of points or whatever, like,
Sold.
They're very good. Where those on?
So how did the schoolboy career go? What way did that go?
The schoolboy career really, obviously, was Usher. As I said, I started off with them. I think I was probably there till about 10s. Then I went to Francis for like, Francis would have been, obviously they have a great school structure and stuff like that, so Francis would have been for about 2 years then after that.
Premier?
To be honest with you, I don't even know what, like, even Usher, I don't know what level that with the schoolboys, like, what level they were at,
so
like,
much.
I remember Ray Jones, you probably know Ray Jones from managing or whatever. He was the manager there, and he was delivering curries in and around the flats and all, and he kept at me and my mates to go up, and I went up with, obviously, Jimmy was up there, Jimmy McHugh, who's with us now at the minute, Mika, Ross Shores, a couple of lads that I kind of knew and that I kind of hung around with. So they were going up, so I was going up. So, like, it was a good bit away from, obviously, Oliver Bond up to Baldon and stuff like that, So I was getting a lift up off the man. He was picking us up.
But your mates are there as well, like,
so he was picking us up and he was bringing us up. And I think I spent about 2 years there, like, and I think that was the first time that I started playing out. Like, I was playing centre half, obviously, from under 7s.
Yeah, you said that.
And then under 7s up till then, and then I think that was a 2 year spell with Francis. Then I was getting played on left wing, and then I left there then, and then I went to Trees Gardens, Trees Gardens. I went to, they set up a team, and like that, when I tell you, it was just all of our mates. It was 15 of my mates just playing there, and even at that level, I wasn't even the best of levels, like, it was a team only had to get set up, and played there then, like, and just with my mates,
just with your mates, and just loved it with your mates,
just with my mates, like, and that's all. Like, I didn't really, even now, like, in terms of, like, what the LSL is, what the AUL was, like, use our podcast as well, like, and you're talking about Weft and certain players that's being on this, like, and like, I didn't, like, when I was growing up, I didn't know about that, like, I didn't know about, like the levels that some teams are at, or I didn't look into anything like that, I just wanted to go out and have a game of ball with my mates, and then come home and then go back and play football with your mates again when you're at home, like, that's just where it was.
Concentrating on football, just go and be happy.
Never, like, in terms of, like, obviously when you have a kid or whatever and you try and get them into the best academy and you try and get them, like, I never really knew anything about that, and I looked into anything like that, Sometimes
when you go like that, you end up switching teams nearly every season, like, I'm not happy here, I'm going to go here, I'm not happy here, I'm going to go there. So if you're just happy to play football with your mates, it's probably a better thing than fucking trying to play with a big, because look, it's not benefiting you at the end of the day, because look at you now, like, you're one of the best teams in the country.
I think it would have been about, Trees would have been there till I was about 14, I'd say 15, and then I went from I was 15 going on 16 when I left there. Usher started back up with an under 16s team, and I signed with them. They only lasted a year, and got these 2 lads in, and that was the the proper taste of what way football should have been, you know, because I was playing with my mates, you're going up, you're training probably wasn't great. Now that I look back at it, training wouldn't have been great, the coaches wouldn't have been great or whatever, like, you know. But then obviously Usher started up in under 16s, and they were playing at a decent enough level. But the coaches that they brought in, they were outsiders. We didn't know any, like, it wasn't someone that you knew from the flats.
Yeah, you couldn't get away with it or something.
So they brought in these two outsiders, Chris and Gay. They were called. That's what they were. We didn't know them, whatever. They set the team up, but like they brought us, like, in terms of fitness wise and all, like, that's when we looked into it. Jesus, that's the way football should be. Takes, yeah. Like, we were going to train and over Eddie Rockets there in Fisborough. We got those classes up there, and they were bringing us there for fitness and in the gym. And I was like, is this how football works? Like, is this what it should have been from a young? I don't mean a young age, because when you're a kid, you're a kid, you should be just let play football. Anyways, that's what I think. Anyways, but like, at 16, you probably should be, if you want a career out of it, or 15, 14, that's probably what you should be. Things, yeah. You should be at a bigger team, and you should be at the best facilities that you can be playing at and stuff like that. But that was my proper taste then of what football was like, you know. I was in, like, that's what it should have been like, or whatever. Yeah. But unfortunately something went wrong. One of the coaches, I think he got cancer or something like that, and he had to step away, and then that was just gone. Then there was no one else there to take the team, even though we had a good team. There was no one there to take it, so that left then, and then that folded. Then, and then obviously but there was a senior. Usher had the senior team, so that's when we stepped in.
Was this when Wezzo only started back up?
Wezzo didn't start back up then, I think, for another 2 years after that. I think it was 18, 19. I would have been 18 or 19 when Wezzo started back, but I went into senior football with Usher when I was only 16.
Right.
They were playing in the AOL. And O'Keefe was managing them, like, you know.
I was going to say, was it with the big JC?
No,
That's how I remember Ant O'Keefe managing them, actually.
Ant O'Keefe was managing.
That's right.
Obviously, I was from the bond, and I was from the flats, and he was like, would you not come down and sign, like, you know. And I was like, yeah, I knew all the lads from the flats, Lee, Ben and Mark, Hugh, Yakko, all them, Muller, all the boys out of the flats. So
is that how you ended up over in James's Gate as well? But did Ant O'Keefe take over there? No, it was the
Bosco over there.
Oh, Bosco, that's what it was.
Yeah, so Ant, that's what I get there. Ant did take me over there, but obviously with Usher at that time, he was at the setting up, obviously, the senior team. I was with them for about 2 years.
And then, did you get much game time at that age?
Yeah, I was playing every week. Oh, yeah. Every week I was playing, and that's up until, as I was saying, I was playing centre half until I was 16, and then obviously when I went, obviously signing for Anto, then he played me up front, like, and that's obviously where I've just kind of been playing around that area then since then, like, you know. But that lasted 2 years or something, like, we were Premier
that's
C.
That's when they folded, wasn't
Premier
it? Then?
C or something, and that's when the senior team fully folded then, and there was no team, I think, for about 3 years, I think, or 4 years, or whatever it was. There was no Usher senior team, and then there was Wezzo was obviously the manager of O'Devaney Saturday side,
that's right, yeah.
And there was an argument or something on the sideline or something like that, and Wezzo obviously left the club, and I don't know, he left the club, and he took over this. He set up the Saturday side then with Usher, and then obviously with me leaving Usher seniors with Ant O'Keefe that time, he was like, that club is gone. Do you want to come to the Bosco with me, like, you know? So I went to the Bosco for a couple of seasons there, and
what league were they in?
They would have been in.
I think they jumped over to Leinster Senior, because John Bosco were in Premier A, obviously in AOL at one stage, and then they made the jump and went over, but they obviously would have went junior first.
I think we won.
Then came up. I think they're in.
Did you find a difference between AOL and kind of Leinster?
At the time,
just the same.
Yeah, because as I said, I was only young. I was young, so I didn't really understand it. Like, as in, I was just going out with, like, I didn't know who we were playing against, didn't know what level they were at. It was just a game of football to me, you know. Like, it could have been playing the best team in the Leinster Senior League.
You didn't give a fuck,
but I didn't know, because I didn't look at it that way. Yeah. I didn't actually understand what football was about.
It sounds like you just played just to play football.
That's exactly what it was. Like, that's exactly what it was.
But obviously, looking at you now, you still have that love for the football, for the game. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's your life, isn't it? Like, it's everyone's life.
It's a big part of your life, as I said. Like, you're playing for what? I'm 30 now, like, I'm 23 years.
10 years left at least.
Well, I'd like to say another 10 years, but I don't have the body to go for 10 more years, but I'd love to think that I would, like, you know. But it's like, and then obviously when I was with the Bosco that time, going back on that, like, when I was with the Bosco there, I was there for a couple of seasons there, and then obviously then I went in, I got the chance. Then I was doing an FEI course down in Ringsend. I was training down there every day, and I think that, to be honest with you,
Jerry Davis,
Jerry was down there, and that year, like, if I could recommend something to any kid, like, or anyone that's coming out of school and that's looking for a job or whatever, or looking for a pathway.
Just something to tie you over, I'd say, yeah.
100%. I'd do it again. I'd honestly, I'd
give up
work. I'm not messing. I'd give up work now for the year and take the wage, whatever, the €200 or the €180, and I'd do a year down there again. And that's being honest. You train 5 days a week.
Push it to the next level
You're
today.
You're in the gym. The coach, Sean Bourne, out there, Jerry, obviously, as I said, Paul Doody at the time, he's out with Cabinteely now, obviously with Ross and stuff like that. Paul we were doing a lot of work on in the classroom and stuff like that, you know, in terms of gym stuff and everything. Like, it's unbelievable, like it really is. So, but obviously at the time I was down there as well as I was with the Bosco, and obviously that's where.
Do you find yourself improving on football fitness every single day?
Every single day you find yourself improving, like every single day, like it's like there's some lads, like I remember the first day we went in on the course, and believe it or not, it was actually Gail. Going back to that, it was Wes's wife Gail who got me onto that course. Like I was coming out of school, and I was after doing a pre-apprenticeship course in carpentry in Oliver Bondfoss. I was after coming out of school. I was looking for a job, couldn't find a job, and I'd done a year in the Foss in Oliver Bond, and it was a pre-apprenticeship course on carpentry, and that obviously that's something that I always had an interest in. I used to go down to Offaly on my school summer holidays, and my cousin was a carpenter down there, so I used to go nixering with him, and on Saturdays and stuff like that, he'd bring me into his workshop and stuff like that, you know, and so I took a liking to that. So obviously then when I came out of school, I knew where, like, the path that I wanted to take, you know, that way in terms of carpentry. So obviously I got a chance to go onto that course and do that down there, and so obviously then that was only a year. Yeah. So I came out there and the same thing, I was looking for it, and then Gail was like, what are you going to be doing? Like, obviously Gail's living in the flats, she's like a liaison officer, say, for the flats. She helps out kids down there in the community and stuff like that, you know. So she's like, what are you going to be doing now, like, you know? And she's like, would you not try the football course down there? And I was like, another year on a Foss. That's the way I was looking at it. Like, you know, I wanted a job, but
you need money.
I need money. Like, but she's like, you're gonna get money. Like, you get, like, I was only 19. She's like, you'll get €180 down there. I know 19, you probably want a decent way. Now you would the way the kids are going down there. But like back then, like obviously 10 years ago, or whatever it was, like I was like, I could probably, like, it's football every day, and that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to play football. So I was like, yeah, I would if you could get me onto it. So she obviously got me a chance onto it. I had to go and do you had to go down and do a little interview and talk and stuff like that. So I went on that, like, you know, and as I said, like, I'd recommend that to anyone. Every single day you find yourself improving.
Do you think
you swimming? You get you get like lifeguard courses, like certificates, so you can be a pool lifeguard, you can work in a gym instructor and stuff like that. And you're training 5 days a week, like, you know. Yeah.
Do you think I understood the game a bit more now with you being around football all the time, like, where as a centre forward making runs and where the space should be
course,
in the course,
the course, like, you go through everything down there, like, you literally go through everything, different ways you play. Like, in fairness, like, we played like a 4-2-3 diamond down there, like, you know. That's the way obviously the amateurs play now as well, when Jerry was there, like, you know. So, like, we were working on a lot of that down there. So then when you're coming in to play with the amateurs, I found that, like, I knew kind of what he wanted in certain systems of what he was kind of looking for, because I was at to spend a year with him down there, like, you know. And that's where I found myself, felt comfortable when I was playing, like, you know, in terms of with the amateurs and stuff like that, because I already knew from being out on the course with him that this is what he's kind of looking for, and this is where you need to be, and stuff like that. So that helped me. But obviously some lads that's in the amateurs didn't have that down there, and so it's probably might be different for them there, like. But I found it that works for me in the boat down there and then on the amateurs, like, you know, because it was the same kind of manager.
Great.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, deadly. Because you're involved at the amateurs since 2017, you said, eh?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah,
so
I think it was the first.
Time, like.
Yeah, 2017 was the kind of first caps that I would have got, was the quadrangular tournament that was called in. I think it was only 2 years back with Usher. Then obviously that's when I come back down to sign with Wezzo. Obviously Wezzo was in my ear. I was doing pre-season. I was with the Bosco for 5 years.
Five years
I was with the Bosco, but even in them 5 years, I done pre-season with Usher, and I was doing pre-season with Bosco. But I could always find myself signing for the Bosco, because when I'm with a team, I kind of tend to stay look, other than schoolboy. I know I jumped out of schoolboy, but that was the only reason I jumped out of schoolboy, was because I wanted to go back and play with my mates. Once there was a chance that all my mates are playing on the same team, I'd come back there, you know, and that's why I jumped out of a couple of clubs with the schoolboys. But seniors, the only two clubs I played with seniors was Bosco and Usher. Other than obviously the spells with League of Ireland clubs, but I wouldn't count them really, like, you know, they're not. I wouldn't count them.
How did you find it when you crossed over to the League of Ireland?
The League of Ireland, to be honest, it's
was Cabinteely, was it?
Cabinteely, yeah. That's obviously going back to the course. So we was on the course down in Ringsend, the first course, and a lot of League of Ireland clubs have come looking at players off them courses, you know, because they're training 5 days a week and see if they can find anyone decent on the course and stuff like that. And that's what kind of happened down on the course in Ringsend. So it was the year that Cabinteely were after setting up in the League of Ireland. That was their first year, like, you know. And that was the year that we were on the course down there. And like, obviously Jerry was saying there's Cabinteely are looking for a couple of players, like, you know. He said, I think it might suit you and stuff like that. And Sean Bourne, which was the other coach down there, Sean was like, I think it'd be a great stepping stone for you. He says, like, you have the ability to go on and play at a higher level. He says, but I think if you went there, put yourself in the window, he says, you'll get a bigger move. And I was kind of him and home, and I was like, I don't know if it's something that I want to do. But obviously, I took the chance then. Obviously, me, another two lads. One was a goalkeeper, Evan Whelan. He's playing with Kilmore now at the minute, like, but he came out and signed with us. He was on the course, and Evan Finnegan, he was the left back. He was being away in England playing and stuff like that, you know. So 3 of us went out there, and to be honest with you, I just found it, like, I was doing the course and I was playing out there, so I was leaving my house in the morning to go to the first course at say 8:30 or 8 o'clock, and then I was on twice a week, say, or 3 times if you're playing on a Friday or whatever. So say in the morning you're leaving at 8 and you're going to the course till say 3:30. But sure, I wasn't coming back from Ringsend to Oliver Bomb because I wasn't driving, so I wasn't coming back
going
on a
straight
bus.
Out to Cabinteely.
So I was getting a bus straight out to Cabinteely. You're kind of sitting around and you're not getting home till 10 o'clock at night, 10:30. That's 3 days a week. If you're playing up with Finn Harps on it, you're not getting home till 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, whatever, like, you know. So you're absolutely wrecked. So I was doing that. I've done it. To be honest with you, I'd have got out sooner. I could have got out sooner.
Could you? Yeah,
I would have. Yeah, I would have, because it just wasn't for me. Like, you know, I just thought it was a lot of commitment and being on the course, and like, as you're saying, like, it's all your day is gone. Like, you're literally, like, as much as you love football, like, you know, and talk about loving football, like, I just wanted to have a game of ball. I wasn't sure if I even wanted to go out there. I just had to go out, and then with the 2 boys signing, that's what kind of
unsure about League of Ireland even at that time.
Like, I was just like, right, I'll go out and give it a go, and 2 boys at the sign, so I was kind of like, well, jeez, I might as well just give it a go. These are here, and nowadays I'll be in the course, or days I'll be out there with them. I won't be too bad. I went down the first day out to Cabinteely, I'll never forget it. And I didn't know what way the League of Ireland was. I didn't know, like, didn't know what League of Ireland. I knew what League of Ireland was about, but I didn't know the levels that was going to be and what they expected of it or anything like that. But so we went out, I talked to a couple of lads out there, and obviously I got chatting to one bloke, and I was sitting there and I was like, who did you used to play for? And I was telling him I was playing for the Bosco and at the time, and I was doing the first course like that. I was like, who do you play for? He said, I just play for the local team around the corner. He says, I live in the area. He just asked me to come down and do trials. And I was just like, so what is this going to be?
Yeah,
like, I'm not saying, like,
what
that's not talking about Cabinteely,
belittling them,
you know,
of course,
that's not belittling anyone or belittling that young. That young obviously wanted to better himself, so you can't.
100%.
I'm not going to belittle him and saying that, but I was just like, is this how this is? Is it going to be? So obviously then he believe it or not, he actually ended up signing. He wasn't the worst of players, to be honest with you, but like, we hadn't got the best of the team. It was your first year in League of Ireland. You're coming up against obviously teams that are established in League of Ireland.
Seasonal League of Ireland players.
Yeah, so like, it just didn't work out. Like, you know, all the travelling, I was getting lifts home. Like, so sometimes I was getting the train out to wherever, out to Blackrock or whatever, and train in Blackrock Rugby College there. Yeah. We were training out there, rugby club, sorry. And then coming home, I was either getting a train at the Dart back into Conley and Tarda Street there, and then walking home. So like from there at night, at 11 o'clock at night, like, and then some days I'll get a lift back in or someone, like, you know, or whatever. I was just like, this is just not for me, like, you know, it's just.
Did you feel yourself resenting football or fucking falling out of love football because of that situation? Like,
I was there, yeah, like, in fairness, I was going training, but I didn't want to go training. Yeah. And I was never like that. Yeah. Never. I would never miss training. Never. Like, even now. Like,
I think that's football. A huge call, and when you start, if you are the way you are, I would be similar with you over all the years of playing football. I love training. Even still now, I still like training. I don't dread it. Never dread it. But when it starts coming to the stage where you're like,
bollocks, here you go, yeah.
That's what kind of happened with me. Like, now obviously, it was kind of the course was kind of helping me out because I was going into the course and I was loving the course. I knew what I want. Like, I knew that's what I wanted. Like, I was gaining from the course. But then come 3:30 when the course was over, I was like, I have to go out here now, you know. And I was kind of going from a high back down to there. I was like forcing myself to go out rather than like a young rail that was in the course. He lived on Cork Street, so we were getting the bus down together and we were getting the bus home together. But then the days that I was going to train, I was like, I wanted to go with him to get the bus home. I knew I had to go out to Cabinteely to get to play, obviously, because I was at the signing out there, and it was just kind of one of them, like, you know.
How long did it last?
6 months. 6 months. As soon as the window opened back up, I was gone, like, you know. And
back to Bosco?
Even at that, I went back to Bosco for I think it was a year back there before I left again then, and then I went to Usher then, like, you know. I think it was about a year then I was back with the Bosco then, but even at that, like...
So you go into Usher then in Premier A?
No. Premier A, sorry, yeah. So they were obviously, as I was saying at that time, I was doing the pre-season with both of them, but something was always telling me I'd just go back to the Bosco. And then, but I was playing friendlies and all with Usher. Like, I was playing friendlies with Wezzo and all them. They were like, come on, sign. I was like, I'll see. And then it come to like the week before the window was closed, and I'd have to go back to Wezzo and say, Wezzo, look, I feel bad leaving the Bosco. I'm just going to go back up there, like, you know. And that, no, don't get me wrong, the Bosco helped me. A great team up at the Bosco, like a great team. Some of the players are quality up there. Training sessions were great with a great coach. So, like, that was kind of making me want to stay there as well. And obviously, even though I didn't now that I look at it, Wezzo is the best manager that I've had out through any of them, obviously, like, you know. But at the time, I didn't really know what Wezzo's training was like. I know I was doing pre-season, but I didn't spend it long enough there to know what he was about. In the dressing room, whereas I spent long enough with the Bosco to know what the Bosco was about. So that's why, obviously, that was the kind of thing that always drawed me back there. Like, this is what you know what these are like, so just stay there, you know, that way. But then obviously it came to an end the year that I actually did leave. The manager left the Bosco, and then there was a lot of talk of this fella coming in, that fella coming in. But no one was actually coming in, and the league was starting soon, the window was closing, and I left. I just left. I just said, look, lads, you haven't got a manager sorted, I'm going, like, you know. And then obviously a manager came in and he rang me, and he's like, I actually got a message on him. He's like, this is your new manager, Steph. He says, well, I hope it is your new manager, basically saying, like, I said, I'd love to keep you and stuff like that. But my decision was already made up then at that stage, you know. And that was nothing against Steph or any of them. It's just, they just took too long to bring in a manager at the time, and there was a bit of uncertainty there. So I obviously then I was just like, right, now's the time to go. You haven't been down there doing pre-season 2 or 3 years. Just sign now. There's no manager at the Bosco, so I just signed Usher there, and that's obviously I'm still there now at the minute, like, you know.
This episode is brought to you by EcoPro Power Flushing. If your heating system isn't working as efficiently as it used to, then it might be time that you get yourself an EcoPro Power Flush. EcoPro are one of the most trusted experts in power flushing, and also offer other services as well, such as boiler fitting, limescale removal and reverse osmosis. They'll rid your system of any sludge, rust or debris, and will have your home heating system working to its full capacity. For a warmer home, call EcoPro on 085 831 6372 or contact them via Instagram or Facebook at EcoPro_power flushing.
What's it like when you first came down to Usher then? Was it a few lads that you knew? And
obviously all mates, like, you know.
Being home again,
yeah, all mates, as I said, all mates that kind of, I wouldn't say hung around with, as in like every day, like, you know, because obviously most of them would have been north side lads, like, you know, and obviously I'm been on the south side and stuff like that. But like I said, Jay Ivory, Gavin Ivory would have been there, Glenn Reddy, like the few lads.
He basically took in, because I signed for
O'Devney Saturdays.
When I signed for O'Devney for Chandler took over. I think he might have had a season with them or whatever. But anyways, he took over. I went in and was there a few weeks, and Wezzo left, but he was managing the Saturday time, but he was playing as well.
Yeah, he's playing.
And then whatever happened with him, he left, and then brought the whole Saturday team with him and set up Usher, like, basically just basically rebuild them.
That, he just took that team basically and
just
renamed Usher.
Do you know what they done? They played friendlies for the whole year.
They
couldn't get into a league.
In Nolan Bridge, what are you again? Back to Nolan Bridge.
When you think about it, for what Wezzo done there, right? He was able to leave a club, obviously when the season started, decides to start up a football club, obviously close to him, local football club, Usher, who were at the folding, right? Starts them up and has the patience to get that team, even the players showing their trust in him, and they give him the patience to stay for a year and just play friendly games like that, and to get them to where they are now. That's unbelievable.
And then I remember, now I wasn't there at the time, obviously, when they first set up. I think they were a year or two gone before, like when obviously Wezzo came over from O'Devney and set them up. I think they could have been a year or two, or maybe even 3 years before I actually did sign, like, you know. But I signed when they were only getting into Premier A, and they were only getting into Premier A, like, but I remember obviously then there was talk, like, at the time then obviously when they were playing and Wes was at the moving over from O'Devney, they actually got O'Devney in a cup, didn't they? And he played O'Devney in the cup up in Oilen Bridge.
I was playing,
they played O'Devney or something, and they beat O'Devney or something up in Oilen Bridge or something, didn't they?
2-1 or 2-1
or something,
I think,
they
did.
just posted more.
Loads of people
loads of watching it,
Now, obviously it was a big thing because Chandler and Wezzo were probably at the falling out, and
yeah, so there's obviously that. Yeah,
it's
that's what kind
of
fueled
local derby,
anyways,
obviously. Half of all the old O'Devney Saturday team players. So the O'Devney team, first team, obviously would have looked at them as all, they're all Saturday players, they'd have thought. Do you know what I mean? No, not all of them. I didn't feel the rivalry because I'm not from there, do you know what I mean? But I could feel the rivalry between them, and I knew it was a big game. Because I know all the likes of Jared and Mark and all, and we were playing without, they were all there, and all their mates were all,
they were all playing
Usher,
against their own.
You know what I mean? They were all up supporting Usher, and so it was a big.
Was it a feisty one? Was it?
It wasn't really too bad of a feisty game, but the surroundings was like you could feel the tension. You could feel the tension. No, because in Oilen Bridge, and it's down in the pitch.
Yeah, it's like a little.
So there was an atmosphere in it. Do you know what I mean?
And then like obviously once
end up beating us.
Like even the Saturday lads now, like they've been playing in like a couple of games in the FBI Junior. Like they obviously got knocked out against All County there last week or whatever, but like they were playing the team from the country and stuff like that, and like the crowd that comes up to watch, like, you know, it's like on the far side where the canal kind of is, that's where the Usher lads stand, and then the other team are on the other side, but like all the people that go to watch don't go over there because it's mainly for the Usher team over there, so everyone is kind of surrounding the away team, like, you know, because that's the closest side to stand on as you park your car and stuff like that, so that whole line is full. So I'd say the teams that are coming up into the are like, it's the amount of people here, but it's not even that you're trying to intimidate them, it's just that they're not going to walk over to the far side and stand there, because over there the touchline is only narrow anyway, so there's nowhere to stand, you know. Yeah,
it creates an atmosphere in that kind of like half circle.
Yeah, it does,
yeah. But so you could hit into Premier A then, and the success comes straight away, which is
no, do you know what? It didn't, and there's one team why Sheriff was the reason why.
It's not Sheriff, isn't it?
I think they've broke many of players' hearts, but
they fucking made teams leave leagues for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So obviously then they were, in fairness,
players.
Like, we moved into the Premier A and we were doing really well. Like, we were holding our own up there. Like when I came down, anyways, we were holding our own. In terms of like the level that they were at, they were doing really well. I think it was the year I signed was the year they went into the Premier A, but like we were right up there, like in the top three. Say, and Sheriff were obviously winning now. They were bleeding. We were going a bit. They were beating us every year, and then in the league or whatever. And then we were getting ourselves to like the kind of later rounds of the cups and stuff like that, you know. And then I think it was for about 2 or 3 years then, and then we found ourselves getting into cup finals against them, and then they were beating us in cup finals. I think they beat us in. They probably beat us in about three cup finals, I think, and then beat us to 2 or 3 leagues. And then obviously the year that we won the Premier A off them down there, that was the first time I think anyone won it off them in a couple of years, like, you know. I think they won it for a couple of years on the bounce like that, and then we won it down in Sheriff down on their Astro. Was
that last game of the season? Was it?
No, we had a game left after that. We had a game, but we had, if we bet them, we won the league, but we had another chance to do it, I think, after that, like, you know. But we played down there. But if they had a bet us and we'd have drawn or lost, say, and they won their last game, they could have won it.
Right,
so you might as well say it's the last game of the season. It's a decider, like, you know. So we played down there. I think we went 3-0 up. I think after 30 minutes, I think.
What are you thinking then? Yeah, we thinking that we have a wrapped
this
up.
This is it. It's wrapped up, like, you know. Next of all, Bistow gets one. John O'Rockets an absolute screamer. 3-2, and I was like, Jesus, where's this going, like, you know. Then we get a free kick. Jay Ivey gets a free kick on the edge of the box, puts the thing top corner off the crossbar, and then I think the game finished. Then I think the game ended up finishing 6-3 or something, or 6-2 or something like that. We end up beating them, or 6-4 or something like that it was, and we won it down there on their pitch, like, you know, which was obviously first time to win Premier A, like, it's a top league that you come in the AOL, like, you know, so obviously that's a big thing, like, you know, that's obviously what Wes was looking to do, like, you know,
towards course.
So so look, that was the kind of pushed us on. Then we're kind of knocking on the door for cups and stuff like that, you know, like we were in cup finals, as I said, Sheriff were beating us in the cup finals, but we knew we had the team to win it. Like, we were a young side where they were kind of getting old, so we knew if we stuck at it, like, we'd be like,
If
I had, obviously we end up leaving the AUL, but for the reason that we didn't want to be
left behind.
Against, left behind. As saying, like in terms of progression and stuff like that, we weren't going to progress. We probably would have won the league every year.
But look, if you look at it now, they're playing each other 3 times or something. Now, what do you think?
We probably would have won the league every year the way Sheriff were doing it. But like, I'm not saying we would have, but like you probably could have, because the teams that would have been left in and around there were all the teams that were kind of challenging. They were all moving across the Senior League. So that
did you jump same time as Sheriff?
We jumped, so us, Sheriff, the Bond, Kilmore. I think there was one or two. I'm trying to think of one or two others that there was. I think there was about 6 or 7 teams that was having to jump across. Like now, obviously, us, Sheriff, and Kilmore, I think, were in the same league. So us 3 got moved over to the top junior one, and then the likes of the Bond and someone else was in their league, they got put into the one under us. So we were always a league ahead of the Bond when we moved over. So we were going up, the Bond were going up after us, we were going up, the Bond were going up after us, you know. So, but like the Bond were the same. They had like local lads that were obviously quality, like Jimmy, Willow, Nick Malone. They climbed up the ladder as quick as us, like, you know.
Yeah, just behind us,
unfortunately, then whatever happened, they just kind of dropped off then, like players and stuff like that, you know.
How were you playing then in the AUL when the year you won the league? Were you scoring goals or were you?
I was. I was doing really well. I remember that was the year that I was scoring like 30 something goals, like, you know, for about 2 or 3 seasons. I was at and scored
in the Premier League.
30,
very
30,
good.
like, and then obviously Shells. That was the time that Shells. So I remember obviously when we won the Premier A down there in Sheriff and Clontarf, like I was at that meeting with Shells. Like Shells were being out watching a couple of games, like, you know, and they were obviously asking me would I sign and stuff like that. And I was at the meeting up with Owen Hurley was the manager at the time, and Dave Henderson obviously was he was out watching all of our games and stuff like that, you know, and he was like, I think the league gets out you and stuff like that, you know, with Shells, and Shells were kind of looking to get promoted back out of the First Division into the Premier Division at that stage. So obviously I was like, I don't know, I was at the doing it with Cabinteely, and it was a lot of travelling and stuff like that, but at the same sense I wasn't on the course, so I wasn't gone all day, even though I was still working. Like I was doing my apprenticeship at the time, so that's the reason that I'll get to now why Shells didn't work out. I know I was signed for Shells, but that only lasted 4 weeks. But obviously I met Owen Hurley and I met fucking Dave Henderson down in I met them in a pub or whatever, like, and they're like, look, I think you could help us get back up into the Premier Division and stuff like that. You could be a big part of playing the team, like. And I was like, I don't know, we've done it with Cabinteely and stuff like that, you know. But I was like, look, I says, we've a game. It was the week before we were due to play Sheriff. I was like, look, we've a game next week. I said, if we win that, we win the league. I says, I don't want to say yeah or no until after that. I said, because if we don't win it, I want to stick around to try and win it. I said, and that's just being honest. I don't want to sign until I know what's going on here. Like, obviously we won it, so I was like, is it the right time to try and make the move now and see if it's something that's for you, like, you know?
Yeah, you're at the getting 30 a season for 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
maybe
so I was like, is it something
further.
like just step into it? Like, I was going to watch a couple of games and stuff like that, you know. I was going to watch games when we weren't playing on a Friday. I was going to watch like a couple of League of Ireland games at the time, like. No, not a lot, but I was like, I probably will fit in there, like, you know. I was saying to myself, I probably can fit in there, and I still now, like, I know myself would fit in there. I know, and that's not being cocky or anything. Like, I know I'd be able to slot into some teams there. I'm not saying Shells now. Shells are in the Premier Division. I'm not saying I'll be able to slot into Shells team now, like, but at the time in the First Division, I think I would have been able to play there. But obviously, I was doing my apprenticeship at the time, and I was after signing. Obviously, we won the league. Then we won the Premier A, obviously with Usher down against Sheriff, and I was like, right, I remember I had to go to Wesel then. I was like, this, honestly, like, I'm not messing. I don't know why, but I was scared to even say that to Wesel, like, you know. I was there for about 4 years at this stage. I think 5 years.
You're letting them down, or
and I was like, so I remember I said, look, I was at telling the lads, I will sign. I said, I'll just have to go and obviously talk to Wesel and stuff like that, you know. So obviously we went to win the league, and I went to Wesel. And I was texting Wesel. I remember texting Wesel. I remember it clear as day. Text Wesel saying, look, Wesel says, is there any chance you can drop around? And he lives in the flats, like, you know, drop around and have a chat. And he goes, yeah, is everything all right? I said, yeah, it's grand. I said, be around in a few minutes. Went around, and I was like, look, Wesel, I said, I'm not getting a chance there. I said, to go and sign for Shells, like, you know. I said, I met with Dave and Owen last week or whatever. I said, but I said, I didn't really want to bring it up with us going to the league and stuff. I didn't think it was the right time. Like, I said, but obviously we're at winning and now, like, I said, I don't know what to do. I said, to be honest with you, I'm not telling them I will, but I still kind of on two minds, like, you know. And the first thing he says, he goes, go and do it, but he says, to be honest with you, he said, I don't know, the exact words he said, I don't know how we've even held on to you for this long. He said, I've been telling you to go and better yourself.
Look away at the shoulders,
way
off the shoulders.
He said, I'd never, he said, that's one thing I'd never do, was hold anyone back, you know.
Of course, I think once a manager, like obviously Wezzo knows his stuff and seeing what he's doing with Usher now, he obviously has fucking great pedigree as a manager there. He's like, if a manager that tries to hold someone back like that, I don't think should be a manager than an amateur.
I remember sitting there and I was actually like this feeling I was getting in my stomach, and it was like someone was after dying or something, you know. I was nearly crying, like having to tell him. I was afraid to tell him, and he, like, the reaction that he kind of gave me, he goes, go and sign. He says, of course. He said, we'll always be here. If it doesn't work out, you're more than welcome back. He said, I'll go up and collect you. He says, if it doesn't work out, like he said. So I was like, right, grand. Obviously, I got a bit of reassurance off him. Not that I needed it, but like it was good to get, like, you know, right, if it doesn't work out, I can come back. He's understandable, which it went better than I thought. Now, obviously, like, now, like, that's what I'd hope any manager would probably say, go and better yourself. But so obviously then I went, but the same thing, like, they were training out in Ikea, at the back of Ikea there in Ballymun's pitch at the time, like, you know, and I wasn't driving at the time. I don't know what age would have been there. What I was doing my apprenticeship, so probably only about 23, 24. 24, probably 25 maybe. And I was starting my apprenticeship late, like, you know, so I was like, going from work, so I was working in Temple Oak, and they were training at 5 o'clock out in Ballymun, 5:30 in Ballymun, I don't finish work at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, what days are you training?
They were training I think Mondays, Wednesdays, and then, like, obviously your matches are on a Friday, and then you're back in on a Saturday morning for recovery.
So
like,
3 times a week.
Yeah, 3 times a week with your game, and then, as I said, you don't know where you're playing. Like, my first game was down in Galway, you know, so that's obviously, you need to leave early on work on Friday to get your game on the Friday and stuff like that. But I remember one day, I remember we were training out there, and I had to get a taxi from work in Temple. I was working in Temple Road with Tommy at the time, and before I even took the chance with Shells, I was actually going to Tommy, the boss at the time. I was like, look, I'm not getting a chance at League of Ireland. I said, the only thing is, I said, they train at this time. I said, I'll have to leave early. And he goes, I'll let you away. He said, I'll let you go wherever time you need to go. He said, go and do it. He says, you should be going to do it anyways, which he was saying to me, like, you know. So I remember leaving the job then, say 3 o'clock or whatever, getting a taxi at 3 o'clock from Temple Oak down to the flats, getting me football gear, then getting another taxi out to Ballymun to train it. And then it was some days then I was leaving early. It depends what job I was on. I could be out in Bley. Like, I'm not saying, like, I wasn't in Bley, but it could have been further out, so I was leaving earlier again. Then I was leaving at 2 o'clock, so I was kind of affecting me work, and I was doing my apprenticeship at the time, so I kind of didn't want it to get in the way. I was in college as well, and I was due to start college, so I knew then I wouldn't be able to leave college, like, you know, to pursue this career, like, you know. And as I said, like, that was one of the main things. I knew what I wanted in my career. I wanted to be a carpenter and stuff like that, you know. Obviously, after being doing the pre-apprenticeship course and working with my cousin during the summer and stuff like that. So it was just one of them, like, it was 4 weeks of that. Like, I only lasted 4 weeks, and the reason the 4 weeks came about was because if I didn't get out on the 4th week, I was stuck there for 6 months. The window was about to close, so I couldn't leave. Like, even though I was only there 4 weeks, if I didn't get out on that specific week, I was there for 6 months, and I knew in them 4 weeks that I was due to go to college. I was due to, obviously I was going into phase 2, that was 6 months, so I was like, I didn't know where I was going to get in college. Like, I knew I was ready to be called, like, but like, they send you a letter to say, right, you're going to Galway. That's where I got Galway. Now, luckily enough, I ended up changing it, because obviously my ma took sick, I had to look after my sister, so I got a letter to say that I was looking after my sister at the time, and I ended up getting Ballyfermot. So
it sounds like it's after being a repeat of Cabinteely again, back in that position.
Back in that position,
not enjoying where, this, I'm rushing around.
Know, and that's what it is. Like, if I had been driving at the time, I probably would have stuck it out. Say even with Shells, like, you know, because I'm driving over, but I'm not leaving work as early as I have to leave. I probably could have left work at 4 o'clock and just headed straight out to Ballymun. Do you know that way? Like, but the fact of leaving at, say, 1:30, 2 o'clock, like twice a week, and then we went to Galway, went to Finn Harps. So, like, you're leaving the job at 12 o'clock to get over there for 1:30 to get up, like, to meet. You're having food before you go and stuff like this. So I just found that it was a lot of commitment, and I didn't really kind of have the time to put into it, because obviously I knew the career that I wanted to go on and what I wanted in life. I wanted to be a carpenter, so that's just why that they didn't work out for me, and that's
how was the football wise though in Shells? The training, was you enjoying it, or were you playing well?
I thought Keane's still with you. Is he with Finglas? Keane Cabinet?
Yeah, Keane was there.
Keane was there at the time that I was there, and fair to Keane, like he's kind of, I got on really well with Keane, like, you know, he was kind of giving me a lift, like, you know. Some days she was driving, so my missus was driving at the time, so I was getting taxis out, and then she was coming to collect me. But then some days he was dropping me home, like, you know. So like he was the one that was kind of giving me a lift or whatever, like. But in terms of like, I got on well with Keane, and like he was kind of helping me settle in, like, you know. I was only there for 4 weeks or whatever, like. But he was sound. Obviously Dylan and Dale and stuff like that, they were all Dale Rooney and that, like, they were there. But in terms of football wise, I felt comfortable football wise, like, you know.
Did you play?
Training was grand. With Shells, I played. Who did I play with? I played down in Galway. Come on against Galway. Went 1-on-1 with the keeper and tried to go. Only got 20 minutes or something. The centre half misplaced the ball, or misplaced the pass at the back line, and that was the first time I played with him. And the ball got played back across, and I latched onto the ball and I tried to go around the keeper on my debut. I'll never forget. Still lives with me now, like, you know. If I had a score, like, maybe I probably would have held on there.
Yeah, I get
you know,
you.
If we had a score there, probably would have said, yeah, he's just buzzing, you know. And I'm off to a good start, you know. But look, it didn't work out. Like, I played against them. I played against UCD. I played a friendly in Tolgate against some team in the north or something like that. It was as well, like, you know. But I felt comfortable in the games. Felt comfortable in training, even though there were only a couple of sessions. Like, you know, I didn't feel out of place or anything like that, you know. But just as I said, like, that's just the reason why, like, it just didn't work out. And as I said, like, some people just choose different paths in life.
Some works for people, sometimes doesn't.
Some people just choose different paths in life, and that was just the path that I chose. I knew I needed a steady job, like, you know, because football wasn't always going to be there, like, you know. And that's
you
just,
have a trade now, so like, you can go down for you.
As I said, look, it's not working out now, like, I have my own business and stuff like that, you know. So it probably was the right decision in the end, like, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
Don't let car trouble slow you down. Turn to motor experts at O'Connor's Cars for fast and reliable service that gets you back on the road in no time. We all know the frustration of unexpected breakdowns. That's why their team of skilled mechanics are here to fix any issue, big or small, with precision and care. From engine tune-ups to brake repairs, transmission fixes to diagnostics, they do it all. For reliable motor vehicle repairs, call O'Connor's Cars on 01 834 0938 or contact them via Instagram or Facebook at O'Connor's Cars.
So you come straight back to Wes, knocking at the door. I'm back, baby.
So I was at the goal. Yeah, that's another thing. So obviously the 4 weeks it was gone. I remember the AOL used to do a tournament out, the Tommy Clements.
Great tournament, wasn't it?
Unbelievable
tournament.
Yeah.
Do you know what I loved about that tournament? You used to get all the intermediate teams as well, and it'd be just the best AOL, best intermediate.
Yeah. They used to come across now. So I was at the playing a few with them, obviously with Usher before I left and stuff like that, so I knew what it was about. And obviously the window was closing, so when the window was closing was the time that pre-season was due to start, so Tommy Clements was on the AOL. And I was ringing Wes out, and I was like, Wes, I think we're due to go to a game. I think we were playing at Loan. I think we were playing Shells were due to play at Loan. And I rang Wes, and I goes, Wes, I don't want to go to the game. I says, I want to get out there. I says, if I don't get out by the weekend or by Monday, I says, I'm gone. I have to stay there for 6 months.
Stuck, yeah.
And he was like, what? And I goes, yeah, look, I don't want to do it. As I said, I want, to be honest with you, I don't even know how to ring. Look, to be honest,
who do we ring? Where do we go?
Same situation going back to with Wes. I was afraid to go to Owen, and I was afraid to go to whoever I had to go to and say, look, this is not for me. It's travel wise in terms of my job, like in terms of doing my apprenticeship. I was afraid to bring that conversation to them because I was only there 4 weeks. I was like, I'm going to look like a tick. You know, like, you're only there 4 weeks, you're not joining with Cabinteely, you're only there for 6 months. I was like, people are going to be saying, what's he doing? Like, you know, and that's what I thought, like, in myself. But obviously that's a different story. Like, people probably didn't realise the story. But people probably didn't realise why I was doing it.
25, like.
People probably didn't realise why I was doing it and why I was leaving, like, and there's obviously that's the reason why. But obviously then I rang Wes, I was like, Wes, I don't even want to go to the game. Like, I said, I want to get out there. Like, I says, look, what am I going to do? And he goes, Bucko, he said, stay. He says, stay. Give it the 6 months. If after the 6 months it doesn't work out, then leave. when the window opens back up at Christmas or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, don't know, look, no, Wes, I think my decision's made, like, it's affecting me work and stuff like that. I said, I'm due to go to college. I said, I'm not going to be able to make training. I'm going to have to leave college early. I don't know where I'm going to be put in the country.
Yeah.
I said, I just don't think it's right for me, like, you know. And he goes, look, Wes, I said, what am I going to do? I said, I'm afraid to ring on. I said, I'm afraid to ring whoever I need to ring. Like, I said, I don't know what like, even though I had a valid reason, like, you know, I was only there 4 weeks, and they were kind of putting their trust in me to kind of help them get back up into the Premier Division or whatever it was, like. But it's just like, so I was like, Wes, I said, if you can get me out of there, I says, I'll come back and sign straight away, like, you know. I says, I will, like I said, if you want to ring them and just tell them, look, say he's struggling, he's afraid, or whatever, like. And that's genuinely what I did. I said to Wes, if you can ring them and just tell them, look, he's on to me, he doesn't know what way to put it to you, like. And that's what I did do. Wes, I did ring on. He said, are you sure? Like, I was like, Wes, 100%, that's like I will come back, like, it's not suiting me, like, college is about to start. I said, it's going to affect me, like. So Wes obviously rang, and they were obviously a bit taken back by it or whatever, like, you know. And I was like, look, I'm at to be in whatever conversation that they had or whatever, like, and the forms need to be signed. So they were due to go down. They got the forms signed. I don't hear you signed the forms or whatever, like. And he was like, I have the forms on forms here, but they're on the bus, like, you know. And I think it was the next day or whatever it was, they had to be in by the next certain time or whatever. And Wes, I was kind of getting a bit of the run around, didn't know where to be going or whatever, but they were left into the clubhouse for me. I didn't even have to speak to anyone, like, you know. I didn't even speak to anyone. I didn't have to do anything, like, you know, because I was still kind of, the window was still open, so nothing kind of actually went through, like, you know, at that stage, like, you know. So obviously I didn't actually speak to Owen, or didn't have to speak to anyone at that stage. At that point I didn't have to. Eventually I did have to, which I'm going to come to. So obviously the Tommy Clemens was starting that in around that weekend, and I rang Wes. I goes, Wes, can I play this in the Tommy Clemens? Like, I want to come back and play this in Tommy Clemens. This is only 2 days. This is the Sunday morning. Tommy Clemens was on, and this on the Friday I wanted to leave. Like, I was only at leaving Chelsea. Like, so obviously the forms were at being signed and wherever. Like, I was at the leaving. So I thought, like, that's it, I'm gone. But obviously I went and played on the Sunday morning in the Tommy Clements, and there was a picture of me.
Still contracted.
There was a picture of me I was still under contract with Shells,
right.
and there was a picture of me in the paper playing with Usher, and I don't know, I think it was at the Scoring or something like that, and the captain was like, Buckley is back or something like that, or whatever it was, like, you know. And I put the picture up on, like, there was some, I don't know what it was, a picture had coming up on the Monday or something like that out, and because remember the way they used to always do, like, they used to be good to the AOL, like, in terms of the write-ups that used to be always in the hurdle and stuff like that, the hurdle I think it was, or whatever, striker. So there was a link up on the Facebook or whatever, and there was a link on the newspaper had a picture and that, me in the paper, and gets a phone call, like, saying, do you realise what you're after doing, like, you know. He says,
who rang you to say this?
Like, that's, so obviously we had to go up, and I eventually had to go up and sign a form then. I didn't think I had to meet someone at that stage. Wezzo done all that for us, but Wezzo rang me then, he goes, you're going to have to go up and meet the chairman, like, you're going to have to sign the form to be released.
So they didn't take it too well, really.
So
for
we
you
went
playing
up to sign the forms, didn't take any notice. He goes, you do realise you could have got us into a lot of trouble playing that game yesterday.
If you had got injured.
He says, because you're still under contract with Shells until you signed the form.
Yeah, so basically he's under their insurance.
But that's me going back to the whole thing of when I say I did not understand what League of Ireland was about. Like,
so if you had got injured,
how important
playing for Russia and were out for a certain, they would have having to still pay your wages and things like that.
But in fairness, I was only getting paid buttons anyways. Like, I only got paid 3 times or something off them, like, because I was only there for 4 weeks, like, you know. But it wasn't a point, like, I didn't care how much I was getting.
Come here, you probably would have signed for nothing anyway.
But obviously then I had to go and sign the forms and stuff like that. So I was up in Blanche went up to meet your man in his office and stuff like that, you know, and brought us in, and Wezzo came with me, like, obviously, you know, and he was like, you do realise, like, what you've done, like, he said you could have got the club into a lot of trouble. I was like, well, I only played a game, like, you know, me not knowing what, obviously, I was under, he goes, you were still a Shells player. He said you didn't sign the forms or whatever, like, you know. It was only a friend, he goes, it doesn't matter, like, you know. And obviously then I just had to apologise and just thank them for, like, even the chance that I was given, like, you know, even though it was 4 weeks or whatever. If there was anyone else that could have worked out with them, like, you know, it was just unfortunate it didn't work out with me at the time. It wasn't the right thing. So then that was it then. I was just back then. I knew then I was back with Usher then.
When he started to kick on then, Usher then, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's obviously, that was, what was that? That was the year, that was the Premier A. We had to win the Premier A, the time that was at the signing for them. And then the year after, we tried to retain it against Sheriff, and Sheriff ended up winning it back off us, I think, that year. And then that was the going into the year after that then was the year then obviously then when all the teams were starting to jump.
So you went up there, was any players added in then when you went into the Leinster Senior League?
Leinster Senior League, do you know what? so it's trying to get these players, like, you know, as in, like, Usher kind of have always been like a tight knit group, like, of friends, like they would have been all friends from when they were with Devony, and still at that stage we were friends at that stage with Usher when he moved over to Leinster Senior League. Like, Steo was with us that time. I remember when I first signed for Usher, Steo Donnelly was there, and he was only training with Usher, and I was only training with Usher. And Wezzo rang me, and that was the year that I signed, was the year Steo Donnelly signed.
Was he?
Yeah, and believe it or not, Wezzo told me. So I said to Wezzo, I said, Wez, look, I said, I'll sign if Steo signs. I said, if Steo signs, I'll sign. But supposedly Steo was after saying the same thing to Wezzo. He said, I'll sign if Bucko signs. But I didn't know about this, so obviously the two of us signed. And
some partnership was out there going,
Yeah, we had the fairness to it. Like, Steo scoring, playing bags of goals, I was scoring bags of goals myself, like, you know, and they were kind of pushing. That was, two of us were kind of pushing us up the league, like, and that's even the players that we had around us, like Leroy, the captain. I think it was about 2 years after that, then we got Calvin Douglas, and Graham Curran, been with Hulk and stuff like that, and Marley. Like, so they were kind of starting to come into the team then as well, then, you know. So that's when we stronger
everywhere then,
that's when we kind of found ourselves getting a little bit stronger, like, you know, all over the pitch, like. But like, as I said, like, even now, like, you know, like, trying to like, as well as we are doing, like, as winning the leagues or whatever, like, I find that it's hard to kind of get players, you know, unless you know, like unless it's a friend of a friend, like, you know, that's what it is down there at Usher, like.
I think there's no schoolboy structure down Usher at the moment.
No,
it's no feed, no teams kind of feed through and all that. So
there's not
just
like
two teams.
There's only two teams, the two Saturday teams. Oh, there's the Saturday and
the good thing about winning though is that you'll always attract players though. Different stories are stuck in mid-table there. That is kind of.
That's what I hope for, obviously.
Especially
when so well and like, obviously winning cups and whatever. Like, hope obviously that's what kind of draws players down. Like, but look, it's yet to be seen. Like, you know, the players that are there are probably there a couple of years, bar probably 3 or 4 players. Like, we got.
Have you adding every year?
We have added every year. We have added every year. Now, we've had players that come in and probably weren't happy with game time that they're getting and have left. Like, you know, but there's players there. Like, we've added 2 or 3 last year, 2 or 3 this year. Like Jimmy signed this year. Jimmy Q signed this year. This is his first year there. Mikey Malone signed last year for us.
Paulie Murphy came in as well.
Paulie Murphy came in last year. No, come in. Yeah, Paulie Murphy and Mick Malone came in last year. Off the ball, because obviously that was the year that the ball kind of folded. Like, you know, I don't know what kind of went on there, to be honest with you, but that was the year that a lot of the players kind of ended up leaving. So we got Mikey Malone, even though he was cup tied in a lot of games. Like, he just wanted to come and play. Like, you know, he knew that we were doing well, and obviously with the bond obviously dropping off, we're a local team to him as well, mates with, you know, all of the lads that are there at Usher, so he signed. Then obviously Paulie Murphy signed on the last night of the season, or last night of the window as well. So, and he's still there now. He's played solid as a rock, like, you know. He's brilliant. Even from when I used to play against him, he's still the same. Still the same. Good, tough as fuck, like, you know.
He's fast as well, Paulie. He can cover ground. He can, And
then obviously then we added Jimmy in this year. We've added, even only a couple of weeks ago, we got a left winger, left side player, Luke. Very good, got him off minute. Then obviously we're getting the keeper the other night, as I was saying to you before there. So, like, we are kind of adding. We've had a keeper there.
Quality as well. Like, now is even an important time to add even more quality. You know what I mean? When you start getting into the top.
Like, we've Garrett, obviously, who done really well. Garrett Kilkenny, he's after coming back there now as well. Like, he went down and played the East Wall there just for a year or so. Like, but he scored 30 something goals for us, like, not last year, the year before, like, you know. Right. And he's after coming back now as well. Like, so, like, I'm just trying to add every year, like, and obviously now next year hopefully we're in the top league and we can attract a few more players, like, you know, and do well up there.
Was there a time of your career then that we actually thought you actually stepped up a gear, like, not just see you're scoring goals and say, listen, I feel like I'm one of the best players in the league, you know?
I'd say not last year, the year before was the year that I felt was probably my best year. I think I scored something like 40 goals or something like that.
Got intermediate player of the year, did you?
Yeah, that was
the internationals.
That was the year I got junior international player of the year, yeah. And then I got the Leinster junior player of the year, and obviously then just I won player of the year and players player of the year with Usher, like, you know. I was only getting 4 trophies in the one season, like, on for myself, like, you know. Obviously then we were at to win the league as well, like, but that was the year that I probably thought was my best year in football, like, you know.
Still now to this day you think that was your best form?
As in, on a personal level, definitely. Obviously, like, you're picking up them, like, the junior international, like, that's, like, I didn't even, like, it was just great to be even in the squad to go and win something like that, like, you know. was great. Like,
and you're a regular now, like if you started in 2017, you're still there.
Yeah, well, hopefully it stays the same now, like, you know, hopefully you can stay in the squad, like, you know. I know obviously there's supposedly a couple of changes there now. I don't as far as I believe, Jerry's not even there anymore now.
Jerry's gone, is he? Yeah, well, I didn't know that.
There's this new thing now, whereas we went away last year, like into Spain, to play in the way for regions, like, you know. But this year now they're after changing it. So there's, instead of there used to be the Mike Award trophy, so it'd be Leinster, Munster, Ulster and Connacht that
that's right, and whoever wins goes and represents.
That's only this year. So the Mike Award trophy was always the Mike Award trophy, so it was just the 4 provinces playing against each other or whatever. So that was last year. Leinster won it. Brian McCarthy was the manager there. So they obviously won it, but this year now they're after bringing it in. So whoever wins, so it's not called the Mike Award now. It's called something provincial tournament or whatever it is. So,
interprovincial.
Yeah, something like that. So whatever province wins that now, like, so, like, it's still the 4 provinces playing against each other. So whatever province wins that gets to represent Ireland in the
and as the manager, does the manager go?
It was never that. So, like, the manager always had a choice of picking between, like, players from any province or whatever. But now it's just whatever province wins, you can only pick from that selection there. Yeah. So this is the 4th year they're doing it. So that tournament is on, I believe, in March. I think it's on. So it'd be interesting now to see what happens, like, and what players are, because, like, the likes of the players that won it last year, Calvin that plays for us, like, he won it last year with Leinster, but he, as far as I believe, he's not eligible to play for Ireland in the regions because he signed a pro contract up the north. Do you know what I mean? He played with Glenavon, so he's not, even though he won the Mike Award last year, I don't think he can play in it this year. Do you know that way? So it's going to be interesting to see what, it's a bit of a shake up to it, like, and so obviously I believe Brian is managing it this year. Brian McCarthy is managing it for Leinster this year. So, like, if he wins that this year with Leinster, he manages the Ireland team in the way for region. So as far as I know, Jerry's gone. No, as far as I know, like, you know,
it gets all complicated.
It gets complicated now.
Like, so,
like, that's what I seen. I seen you. The FAI put a yoke up about it, and I seen Andy McNulty talking about it, and even James Lee, like, saying it'd be interesting to see what way it works, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's changing over the years, isn't it? We spoke with Jerry Smith last week, and he told us how all the whole international setup evolved. Like, from one game, they used to play one game a year, and it used to be just against Scotland. So we'd get probably 2 or 3 training sessions. They'd play Scotland, and then wouldn't have anything for another full year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He came into it then, or he was relieved from his duties, and then left, and then came back in. But he came back in on his terms and transformed the whole.
He said he wants Europe. He wants to play.
He wanted to play Europe and transform the whole way of Irish international amateur wise, like setup was. Yeah, that's so, how it got to that stage.
Like, I got a text message there on one of the kit men, like, and he's just saying, like, I want to wish you all the best going forward, like, you know. And I was a bit taken back by it, as if to say, like, are you gone from the yoke? And he's like, there's a whole shake up, like, you know, and which is sad, like, because, like,
how did you find it?
As in,
did you enjoy
level,
it? Yeah,
the level. Like, we went, like, as I said, we went to Spain there in the summer, and no, things didn't go away. Like, we drew 1 game, we got beaten in 2. We played Germany with a man sent off after the captain of the club, Brendan, of the amateurs, Brendan O'Connell. He got a presentation the night before for, like, the most caps in the whole tournament. As in, like, for Ireland, he's the most capped, like, so. And then in the warm up he gets injured, so he never even actually got the captain.
Never got the cap that he needed.
No, so he got injured in the warm up, so that was kind of a little setback. Gary stepped in, unbelievable keeper that stepped in anyways, like, so.
Who's he with?
He's with, he's down. Who's he with down the country?
On the Cork teams?
No, he's not Cork. He's Mayo. Is it Mayo? I can't think who he's with now. It's on the tip of my tongue. But he basically stepped in anyways. But we went out 10 minutes into the game with the man sent off, like, you know. So you're playing against, like, that was Spain, like.
I seen a few clips of that.
They ended up going on and winning.
Yeah, Alan McGrail played in that, didn't he? Didn't he? I've seen a few clips and then it was baking it, wasn't it?
Come to the region. That was against the Basque region. We done a training camp over there for 5 days. So, like, that's the kind of level, like, that's the kind of like environment that you're getting brought into, like as in a professional environment. Like you're going away, you're doing a training camp in Spain, like you're training in Atletico Bilbao's training facilities, like playing against the Basque region over there. That's when Alan was in, where it was like Alan's unbelievable, like unbelievable quality, like, you know. But the regions, obviously the finals that we were at, like, you know, we just kind of got a bit unlucky, like, you know, in some of the games, like a man sent off, as I said, in that game, that kind of killed us then. And then like we played Germany, we had a couple of chances against Germany, just kind of ball falling on the 6-yard box, you know, like, and we were 1-0 down. Obviously we went 1-0 down, kind of the man shot kind of a bit out and kind of deflection went into the bottom corner, which got a nice goal in fairness now. But then we had a chance to level it, I think, with I'd say probably about 5 to go, like, you know, ball drops inside the 6-yard box to one of our centre halves, and he blows it over the crossbar, like, you know, and then they go up the other end and score. It's 2-0, they're 2 defeats, like, you know. Going into the last game then, and playing the last game, jeez, I can't even think of who we played in the last game. We were the penalty. We had a penalty, we missed the penalty. They had a man sent off, believe it or not, and we missed the penalty, and they went up and scored against us. Now we end up scoring then with a couple of minutes to go, 1-1. So that was the only kind of draw we got over, like, you know. But just certain things in the game just didn't go away, like, you know. It didn't kind of help us, like, in terms of results. Now, don't get me wrong, like the level that we were playing against, like we were playing against lads that, like, playing probably 3rd or 4th tier in Germany, like, where their pyramid is completely different than what our third like level, in the third level that we can play, the third highest league is the Leinster Senior League.
Is their level,
where they're probably playing with the likes of Werder Bremen or like, I don't mean like
Werder Bremen B or something.
The striker at Werder Bremen was supposedly going on trial with off the German team was supposedly going on trial with Werder Bremen and stuff like that, you know. So like it's
different levels, isn't it?
That you're playing at, like, and you're playing at like 25, 26 degree heat, like, you know, tough. It's tough, like, and not excuses, like we didn't deserve that now with the way we played, like, you know, in terms of like stuff that went against us as well. But like, it's just the level is completely different, like, you know. Completely just fitness wise, even, like, you don't see much of the ball against the likes of the Spanish or anything like that, you know. It's mental, like.
Yeah. Right. I think you took us all the way through, Jordan. So look, you're still going with Usher, and best of luck with everything. Hopefully you see, look, it's looking like it, but look, you don't know till the season is over, but hopefully he's get up there and get to the top league.
I think UCD are now overtaking us there now on the top of the league by a point or something like that, you know. They played the other night where we played in a cup against UCD, or League of Ireland, that cup. So look, as I said at the start of this, like, the aim is to just get promoted now, like, and just get us up in the top league. So hopefully come the end of the season, that's where we're at.
Happy days. Happy days.
Into our questions, Abby?
Yeah, you into the questions.
A few questions here, so have you prepared it now, have you?
I actually haven't prepared anything.
Here we go, should be fun.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't prepared anything.
Right, Jordan, any regrets?
Any regrets? Looking back, I wouldn't say regret, but probably one thing that I kind of know now is that at a young age you should probably be playing, if that's the career you want. It's not the career that we want. It's not a regret. I wouldn't say it's a regret, but it's a thought. If I had been at a top club, say, rather than playing with my mates, where could you be? Yeah, where could it be? It's not a regret, because at the time I wanted to play with my mates, and still now, but it's a thought of what could have been, you know, that way.
Yeah.
So
best player you played with?
Best player would definitely be Peter Hines when I was with the Bosco.
Yeah.
Definitely, hands down the best player. Yeah, he taught me so much. Like, played up front, I played in behind him. He was playing as the number 9. But yeah, definitely.
Talked through the game in that game.
Honestly, never realised, like, as I said, like, him and Stephen Quigley, that was obviously with Pats at the time. He was playing right for us. 2 of them are mates. They played in England all together. 2 of them, they kind of showed me when I was at the Bosco, like, the attitude and what it should be, and that was them coming probably to the end of their career, but the professionalism that they showed, kind of, I was like taken back by it. Like,
the 2 of them playing for Bosco's 35s now, are he?
I don't know about Quigley, but I know
Quiggle's playing as well. Yeah, Quiggle's playing there. We played
so
a while ago.
2 of them, yeah. So like, it kind of shows you, like, what they kind of were brought up through, like, you know, and the professionalism that they showed, like, it's mental, like. But Heinze, definitely, yeah.
I'd say we know the answer to
this
I think so, question. Yeah, your best manager.
Yeah. Wes, but that's just because he's probably there the longest, but he definitely is, definitely 100% Wes, yeah.
You know, the best club
that I played for?
Yeah.
Yeah, be Usher as well. Like, you know, started off there and I'm still there. Like, and that's genuinely is. Like,
I thought you were going to pick Cabinteely there for a second.
Yeah.
Your best friend in football?
Best friend in football, I probably would say Jimmy McHugh. Yeah, business partner as well now. Like, you know, best mates since we're kids. Like,
And how's that partnership going now? Yeah.
Yeah,
do you have a good understanding together?
Yeah, do you know what, we played together for. Now, in fairness to Jimmy, what I will say about Jimmy is when I was playing with my mates, he was all playing with Pats at underage and stuff like that, you know. Jimmy was playing at a high level, like, you know, but that was just the route that he took. But, like, obviously we played together with the Bosco, would have been with Trees Gardens, would have been with Francis together, like, would have been with Usher at the 16s when we played under 16s and stuff like that. We would have been playing a lot together, like, you know, and now obviously there was a big thing where the people say it's a rivalry between the Bond and Usher. I kept saying to him, why don't you come over and sign for us, like, you love it, and he was saying to me, why don't you come down and play for the Bond, like, you know, and that's just obviously what you try to do. You try and get the best players to your team, like, you know. But I definitely would say best friend in football would definitely be Jimmy, like, you know, in football.
I'd like to hear this one now. The hardest player you played against?
Paulie Murphy, hands down.
Yeah,
hands down, Paulie Murphy.
Yeah, I'd say Paulie's a few people's tough one.
That I can remember, anyways. Yeah, it stopped us from winning many things, like, you know.
We stopped many.
Even now, he's still trying to break me up the cunt.
Yeah, favourite memory.
It's probably a strange one. Like, but my favourite memory was probably first going and getting called up into the Ireland setup. Like, you know, I know the first time I was called into it was we didn't win that in the first time, like the quadrangular was, but just being in and around the Ireland team is probably my favourite memories.
As a whole,
it's probably an eye opener of where you could go in football. It's just
as I said, like the trying, like, even like Paul, as I speak about Paul Dooley there, like he was on the course and down there, like the stuff that he kind of does down there, like in terms of setting up the training and how professional and everything is. That's obviously why that sticks with me. You know, that way, like, so I would say probably that. Like,
could you see yourself getting into the management down the line? Could you?
I could. I don't know about management, but I can see myself sticking around football, whether it's just helping out, helping out a manager or something like that. I could see myself sticking around football
for someone that are passionate about football as much. I can't see you just knocking on the head.
No, I definitely won't knock on the head. Like, in terms of, like,
I'd be surprised where
definitely would help out.
Yeah.
Definitely would like to help out. I wouldn't like to step away from it. No.
Yeah. So players that didn't fulfil their potential,
as in
the players that kind of knocked on the head early, or kind of that could have been a very good player that never kind of got to them heights.
That's a tough question, to be honest with you. Like, is that
anyone around who you played with, or who you
grew up with, around the road?
I'll go back and say this, and every year I text him. Every single year I text this fella at the Cyprus, and it'd be Willow McAdams. Every year, every single year I text him.
I heard he was unbelievable schoolboy. Was he, Willow?
Like, honestly, and that's who it. And do you know who would be in for a good shout there as well? Would be Calvin Douglas as well. I don't mean for the young that has bags of ability, and Willow, like, two of them. Willow was in and around the League of Ireland underage setups with Pats and stuff like that. But, like, the level he's at is
did Willow go away?
Ridiculous.
Did he sign for the English team when he was younger? Did he?
I'm not too sure now about that, but like, as in, like,
could not have.
He's honestly, like, as I said, every single year I ask him to sign for us, like, you know, and he'd tell you that himself. Like, but
great little player, great lad as well.
Unbelievable,
great lad,
and Calvin as well. Like, two of them.
So we're into
your best 11, Jordan.
This is the one.
This one makes me smile all the time because the stress people go to.
You know what? And this is what I'm not. I haven't had a lot of teams, so like, I probably could have went and played with better players or whatever. So I'm gonna kind of base this off. Obviously, it is players that you played with, but the goalkeeper, I'd go, like, there's two. Obviously, Carl that I'm playing with a long time there, but Usher, he's obviously in for a shout. But I'm probably gonna put Evan Whelan in there. He's with Kilmore now at the minute. Played with him at Cabinteely, and he was on my course down in Leeds End.
See the red-headed lad?
Yeah.
Gooch.
Gooch.
He played with Clester, didn't he?
Clester for a while. Yeah. I'd probably have to put him in there. Yeah.
What formation we going with here now?
I'm just gonna go 4-4-2 just to kind of keep it basic and keep it kind of
keep it easy. Yeah.
To help me pick. Right side, I'll go with. Right side, I'd probably go Graham Curtin.
Wouldn't I? Yeah.
On the right.
You just have a good little kind of understanding as well, don't you? So Usher, seems to know where you are all the
Yeah,
time.
I'd go with Graham on the right.
Right full now.
Right full, yeah, right full. Centre half, I'd have to put Robbie Martin in there. And to be honest, I'm gonna put. I'd say I'd put Dan Porty in there of the Bosco, who when I first went with chap was an absolute Daniel Porty, absolute rock. Didn't realise like the tag, like as I said, when I first kind of stepped into senior football, how physical it was. Like, you know, I found it physical, but even though I felt comfortable, Dan Porty just like proper natural centre half, like go through you. Like I put him in there beside Robbie, and then on the left I'd put Paulie Murphy on the left because I need to put his best defender.
He's too good to leave out.
Yeah, too good. But I just think I couldn't put Dan or Robbie on the left, so I'd have to go with Paulie.
Yeah, well, look, I think Paulie fill in there.
Yeah, no problem for us. So yeah, so Paulie there. I'll start with two centre mids first because I'm still trying to think of the right and left. So two centre mids, I'd have to go with Calvin Douglas and Leroy the captain. That's who I'd be going with in there.
He's been with Usher since Wes took him over, hasn't he, Leroy?
Leroy's been there. Yeah. Leroy was with O'Devney, like, you know, yeah.
Side, yeah.
That's honestly, like, I don't know if he's seen much of him, but absolute warrior. He's proper natural. He plays in the six for us, like, you know, but he's tough as nails, like, you know.
He gets around the pitch as well, doesn't he?
I don't know, I just feel when he's not playing there's kind of a void there, like, you know. I think he offers you that bit of security there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd definitely put Leroy in there. On the left wing, I'd have to go with Wayne Walker. And Wayne obviously chap just gets up and down. On the right, probably should have swapped. I probably am going to swap Al. Sorry for going back on this. I'm going to swap Graham onto the right wing, and I'm going to put Quigley in at the right full.
Right.
And then the two boys up top, obviously, have to be Jimmy and Peter Hines.
Right. Very good.
That's some squad, that I tell you.
Yeah, look, it's lads that have played. Look, lads that I don't know. Like, if you just probably know them. Like, probably a lot of people probably wouldn't know them. Like, but it's that they're like the likes of Wayne and Leroy. The work that they do just goes unnoticed. Like, you know, until you're actually out watching, like, you don't realise. Like, you know, probably wouldn't. Like, probably people.
You have to probably play with them to realise.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like Wayne Walker, 100% Wayne Walker. Definitely, you'd have to play with Wayne and Leroy as well to kind of know what they do. Like, you know, but. Yeah, definitely that.
Yeah, probably wouldn't stand out really technically, but work rate and all, and then whatever they do for your team, it doesn't go unnoticed for you.
Yeah, so that definitely be the 11, anyways.
Deadly,
brilliant.
Fair play, Jarrell. That was brilliant, pal.
Thanks for
having me.
Thanks a lot. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.